Hi, SmartBear community, and welcome to the TestComplete interview series. This is a series where we introduce the TestComplete team to you, all the people who work on TestComplete in SmartBear to make it the great tool it is. And so my today's guest is Justin Kim. He is an associate product manager focusing on TestComplete mainly. And today we're going to talk about TestComplete, Justin's role at SmartBear, top TestComplete features, and maybe we'll get a glimpse of what's coming for TestComplete in the nearest future. We'll see. So without further ado, let's start the interview. Hi, Justin. How are you?
Hi, Sonia. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here today.
We're really excited to have you here. So my first question is, could you talk about your role? I know that you kind of shifted towards product management. Could you speak about that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I'm the associate product manager here at at SmartBear, focusing on TestComplete. And as you also mentioned, I did shift in roles. So originally I was a sales engineer, covering various different products for about a year and a half, and the role opened up. So I just sort of jumped at the chance so that I could work more in depth with TestComplete as a whole. To, I guess, elaborate just a little bit further, I do just about a little bit of everything with that's pertinent to TestComplete. So I work with the R&D teams, working on prioritizing what gets built into TestComplete as well as what we will build, further down within the roadmap. And I just work with a lot of the different functions here at SmartBear, so sales, marketing, maybe sometimes even legal. So anything that has to really do with TestComplete, I just coordinate with them a lot.
Thank you for the reply. I think this is a really exciting change, especially when you're coming from a solutions engineering, right? So you know the tool like the back of your hand. And then when you move up to product management, then it is easier to understand like what people really need there. Great. Could you speak a bit about your background and how you initially came to SmartBear?
A really short list, I guess. So SmartBear was my first role out of college. So I was just in Boston, and then I stumbled upon SmartBear and just sort of jumped into the role. And I guess as far as the background goes, I studied electrical engineering in college, so not too related to the field of software QA. But I guess in terms of technical skills, just being able to do a little bit more coding and read technical diagrams and things like that came in handy every once in a while.
Great, thank you for the reply. And what is your favorite part of your work day?
I think my favorite part of the workday is really that not one day is exactly the same to the other. That's not to say that there isn't a routine built in. So we do have a lot of recurring meetings like stand-ups and grooming meetings and triage calls and all sorts of, the regular stuff that you would expect from a PM. But there's always new things and not a second to really ever get bored. So whether that be going on customer calls where maybe I'm responding to a technical issue, or maybe it's a discovery call where we're really talking more so about the underlying problem at hand. And going further, maybe it's always different. I think that's what I like the most. And yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting. And this is a very like diverse role, I think. And you need to kind of know a lot of stuff that is going on in the industry. And how do you prefer to get this information? Like, how do you self-educate? Do you go to online courses or read books?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as like industry news goes, of course, like everyone else, I have Google Alerts set up for certain keywords. So every day at 1 p.m. Eastern sharp, I get, a flood of emails from Google. So I'll just skim over that and read into things as necessary. LinkedIn provides a valuable resource from, community evangelists and things like that. So I'll just read through those blog posts as well. And obviously, customer calls become a huge part of the job as well. So if you ever run into an issue, I have no problem admitting that I don't know something well enough, or I just don't have enough knowledge or expertise to answer that correctly. But that also provides some good opportunities for me to go about and just go into a Google search rabbit hole and try to find out as much as I can. And there's just so much resource available nowadays where take for instance Flutter, right? The other day I was speaking with actually it was an internal meeting where we were talking about Flutter, and that led me into the Google Code Labs, and it was like a 2-hour tutorial on building your own app, testing your own app, and so on and so forth. And then of course you mentioned online courses. So SmartBear does provide training, or at least the product organization does. So I do take that up and do courses, probably about like a couple a quarter. So that's always nice too. So I just pick and choose what I want. Right now, I'm learning Photoshop just because. So that's only tangentially related, but I guess that's what I'm doing right now.
I love all Adobe products, so I support that 100%. I mean, it's really handy. Cool. And I really liked how you mentioned the keywords for Google. I never thought of that, and neither I heard of that. So this is a cool trick to learn for me, I guess. So thank you for that. I will try and implement this in my routine. Cool. And one resource that you didn't mention, but I know that you participate in the TestComplete community a lot. And I think this is also a great way to learn things, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're just starting to learn, it's a great resource to have. We have a number of very active community members, which I'm always thankful for. They're the people that I learned from a few years back, and admittedly I've slowed down in terms of giving back, but I'm trying to ramp that back up again. So watch out for one of my bad blogs, I guess.
No, we really liked your blogs. They were really great. Thank you. Another question that I have is, what's your top 3 favorite features of TestComplete and why?
Yeah, that's a hard one to choose from just because we have such a breadth of capabilities. But I think right off the bat, IQ, so intelligent quality, has been a huge uplift to the product since its introduction about 2 years ago. I say that because obviously TestComplete can expose various controls and dive deeper into different classes. But for people that are just starting out in automation, maybe sometimes that's not really an option, or that does seem daunting. And IQ does bridge the gap in terms of being able to create your first set of automated test cases quickly if, for whatever reason, your application does turn out to be a little bit more stubborn than your average. So I'd say that's my top one. The second one, which I think is actually growing in usage and adoption, is the Gherkin editor. So that was introduced about 2 years back as well. And funny enough, that was actually developed before we acquired Cucumber. Mm-hmm. So our team internally actually developed our own Cucumber engine, and it can support pretty much everything within the Gherkin syntax. So features, backgrounds given when then, asterisks, scenario outlines, examples, pipe delimited characters, hooks, everything. And hopefully we can see some more expansion into that capability in 22. So I'd say that's something to look out for as well. So mm-hmm. That's number 2. And number 3, to be honest, event handlers. I find myself using them every once in a while, and also AQ HTTP. So every once in a while, when you might have to do something a little bit more integrated, I mm-hmm. find myself using those 2 options very often.
Yeah, thank you for the thorough and detailed reply on that. And I know that you already kind of hinted at what's to come for TestComplete in some area, right? But any other insights that you can share?
Yeah, so this is further along down the road, but for anyone here who attended SmartBear Connect would have seen that we're actively working on a new visual recognition technique. So this is going to be no longer dependent on, selectors or anything under the hood. So we've already presented a prototype where it takes in a rule-based natural language syntax. So things like click on X or enter Y or things like that, right? Where we can recognize the visual elements just by the way they look, sort of like how a human would. And we're planning on introducing that into the product, H2 of 22. And so that will be, pretty much IQ on steroids. So that's something that you can watch out for. Another thing I'd say is a more integrated platform in general. So that's a larger theme just in SmartBear as a whole. So the Zephyr family of products, maybe even Project Explorer or things like that. So we're hoping to introduce new report formats and integrated platform to view things like usage statistics and testing trends and things of that nature. So there's a lot of development going on right now for different pieces that belong to different teams that will eventually sort of connect together for a more integrated platform. And third, I guess, just general usability. We're doing lots of investigations into the presentation of name mapping right now, and little bits and pieces there. So I'd say those are the main things to look out for.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like there's a lot of great features in store for TestComplete. My last non-question, any message for the TestComplete community?
I guess thank you. I wouldn't be, where I am without the community. So whatever you need, just post in there. We can always count on our active members. You can count on me. I always do check it daily. So
yeah, you do. And also you can count on me to go to Justin and just say, please, could you please take a look at that thread?
Yeah, that too.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a really nice and informative interview. Thank you and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia.
See you in the community. Yep. Bye.
Yeah.